What's up with y'all? JBeezy. We back at it. Got another Destiny 2 video. Today, we finna be revisiting the Lumina. I'm gonna go over its intrinsic perks like in my review. Intrinsically, got noble rounds, kills with this weapon, leave behind remnants, absorbing a remnant, converts your next hipfire shot into an ally seeking noble round, and partially refills the mag. And we got a chambered compensator, accurized rounds, blessing of the sky trait, using a noble round on an ally, heals them and grants both you and them a weapon damage bonus for a short time. Polymer grip. I just got the Lumina catalyst, so now we get 2 remnants per final blow, and I wanted to test it out. I want to see if it makes it any good, and we're gonna go over some positives and negatives of the Lumina now. Alright, so we finna go over the positives and negatives of the Lumina. First, it has a fairly high base aim assist stat of 88. Only 4 under the spare rations. That's very good for everybody, really. Just makes the gun feel more sticky and feel better when you're trying to shoot your shots. Second, it's the new catalyst. I think that brings a very big part to the table. Being able to have 2 remnants instead of burning one and not finding someone is insanely big. For example, say you shoot one of your teammates and you run around and you don't find anyone. Now that you have this catalyst, you have another one, you finally find someone and it's about to run out, shoot your teammate, bam, you're right back in the gunfight. You and your teammate have a damage boost. So the catalyst will be very helpful with that, and I do believe it's like around a 10 or 20% damage boost for both of you, so that's really good, and it heals your ally, so if he's weak, then that'll be very helpful for them. Another thing, its recoil direction stat, I believe, is 95. I'll probably put that on the screen. Versus, it's only 5 under the spare rations, which is best in slot right now, which is only 5 under, which is still very, very good. It's a primary hand cannon, so you can run it with, if you have a God Roll Mindbenders or a God Roll Beloved, it is a primary hand cannon, so you will be able to run it with those best in slot snipers and shotguns for the secondary slot. It might be very, very solid for trials. I'll probably have some gameplay of me playing trials in the background with it. It's a 3-person game mode. You can buff both your teammates, and that's like a damage boost for all 3 of you. Once the damage boost is on, if you are running, say you're playing trials and one of your teammates is using Revoker, or say you're using the Tatar Gaze from the Black Armory, you buff your teammate, you can switch to Tatar Gaze or Revoker or whoever's using whatever high impact sniper, and you could one-shot body shot people with it. So that's another plus. Now I do believe it doesn't one-shot body shot if you're at like a high enough resilience, maybe 6 or 5, but not a lot of people be paying attention to the resilience stat. You'll probably be able to one-shot body shot more people than not. And now let's get into some negatives. It's an exotic, cannot equip an Icarus mod, so that's gonna always be unfortunate for it, and probably why more people will gravitate towards the spare rations. The aim assist stat, I don't know if it is the aim assist stat, or maybe it's like its accuracy or some hidden stat that I'm not seeing, but sometimes I do feel like its accuracy, like there's some sort of like ghost bullet, like kind of like how Destiny used to have ghost bullets. It kind of feels like my reticle will be right on the head, and I just won't get the shot. I'm not 100% if that's just me not being used to the gun, or if that's just the gun. I'm fairly decent with most hand cannons, so I don't know. It just felt weird to me. You won't be able to run something like the new Trials of Osiris shotgun, the Revoker. These are best in slide weapons right now. Everyone's talking about the Trials shotgun, and everybody knows the Revoker. Very, very good guns, and if you're using Lumina, you won't be able to use that. Again, it's an exotic. Won't be able to rock something like the Wardcliff coil or any other heavy weapon to get you like a free kill in, say, Trials of Osiris. Overall, I do think the Lumina is a really good exotic, but it fails to me to reach that level that Spare Rations or Thorn or Last Word is on, where it just doesn't bring enough to the table for me to want to use it. Thorn has the damage over time. It can 2-tap. Last Word, unbelievably accurate on controller. Spare Rations, just an overall really good hand cannon, but Lumina, it just doesn't bring enough to the table. Sometimes you won't get those remnants, and at that point you're just using an exotic, or you're using just a worse spare rations, and you're not getting your exotic perk to activate at all. So I don't know how worth it is using. It's a good exotic for like maybe 6s and whatnot, but not the greatest one you could pick if you're going strictly for like, I really want to win. You know, those are basically most of my positives and negatives. I'll probably tack on some more if I think of any, but